becoming a mother revealed parts of me that I needed to heal. Zan, 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 zan. It's Friday. Do I get excited for Friday? Yes, I do. And why is that, Gorata? Why do you get excited for Friday? Because I get to spend time with my son on Saturday. Also, I get to rest. I get to sleep in, guys. Being a mom, given that today's thematic conversation is around motherhood, I look forward to the weekend because I get to bond with my sunshine. I was actually saying to him now when I was getting ready that, hey, it's Friday. Mommy's not going anywhere tomorrow morning. Although I am. But just to go do my nails. I want to do them early morning so that I'm done. And then I can be with the boy throughout the whole day. But yeah, welcome to my vlog. Welcome to our vlog. I don't like the angle. And you know, I was lazy. I was lazy to lay my edges, I'll be honest. So we're just here. I sprayed them though. I just sprayed my edges. I sprayed my edges. I sprayed my edges with, what do you call it? Jabu Stone Dread Spray. If you Google it, you'll see it. The turquoise colored one. That's the one I'm using for my dread situation. So it looks so awkward, like with this little tukununu hair. If it's not laid, you know. But it is what it is. That's the insecurity for the day. But another chat. I'm wearing my trench coat today, and I'll be honest and say that I think ever since I wore it casually, I wasn't sure how it was going to work out if I wear it to work, and hence why we're wearing it for Friday, which is usually a casual day. That's me, Jesus. And the experiment, or the key thought today, is to see whether or not traffic will be as bad as it is during the week on a Friday. People take leave on Friday, so I don't think it'll be as bad. And one thing I'm grateful for is that if it isn't, I am going to get to catch up on my reading, because May is coming to an end, and I'm halfway through the last letter by Rebecca Yanos, and I had this dream. So the book cover, or the type of book cover that we got is not the usual one that we've been seeing on socials. The one we got is pink, right? So I had a dream. I had a dream as I was turning the page that the cover changed to the sunset blue and orange color cover that is doing the rounds on socials, and I was like, oh my god, it's about to go down, isn't it? And I'm sitting in anticipation, because if you look up the last letter on socials, you'll see just people crying, and I'm like, am I about to get to that part, right? So I'm scared. And here are my theories, right? My theory is that either Macy, Emma's daughter, is going to die because she has cancer, but I feel like it's going to be like a happy ending for her, right? So I think the treatment is going to work, so she's going to live. And instead of Macy, Colt, the brother, is the one who's going to die. And Beckett, our soldier lover boy, is going to be redeployed and leave Emma. And Emma is just going to be there all alone with Macy. And back to the solitude that we started with, where she lost the brother, she lost the grandparents, lost the parents. And it's just going to be an ending where it ends in loss. That's how I feel. I think that's the craziest craziest ending I can think of. And I'll be honest that I haven't googled, I haven't read any spoilers, so I'll let you know how it goes probably on Monday, because I really want to be done this weekend, because we are going to be choosing our June read next week. So I want to be done, and this will be the first book that I finish, I will be honest, because it's just been trials and tribulations, I feel. But I think I just commend Rebecca Yarros, because what do you mean I was able to go through 150 pages like in one sitting, in one day, right? So it's great storytelling on her part, and a part of me prays and hopes that we will choose a fiction read soon. But I am a fan now. I am going to read all her other books. I saw that she's doing a series. There's 3 books already out, and she's writing the final part. So I'm gonna start reading it. Almost like Harry Potter days, because Harry Potter really had us in terms of you're not gonna make it go in. Yeah, Harry Potter did a number on us, and I think reading Harry Potter was truly amazing, because you got to hear Hermione's thoughts, you got to hear Ron, got to hear Harry Potter's thoughts as well, and so. But yeah, let's get into our topic of the day. And I like that there's like a certain point in my car ride where I start chatting about our prompt. We've done our check-in, we've done our catch-up, but I'm going to do my lashes. Today I didn't skimp on my skincare, because I have this I got the serum set from Clicks that has niacinamide, that has hyaluronic acid and vitamin C. So after bathing and washing my face this morning, I applied it, and then what they usually write on the pack is to apply moisturizer after, and I applied the OG moisturizer for winter, being Camphor. Anyways, let's get into it, shall we? Like, can you see that I'm sleepy? Look at this. But my son woke up looking like that, and I think he's just oversleeping, because he slept the whole night, guys. We're doing it. We figured it out. So proud of us. So proud, because sleep is so precious, I think, sleep is so important. But yeah, you see, so my theory that there's not a lot of traffic on Friday is correct, but incorrect. There is a bit of traffic here, where there is usually traffic. But yeah, let's get into today's chat. I'm gonna pause this clip. I'm gonna stop this clip. The chat is how becoming a mother revealed parts of me that I needed to heal. I think I would probably speak to this prompt way before becoming a mother, because obviously there's something that my aunt said once during one of the visits when they came to see my son. She said, I knew that my kids, she has twins, were in the line of, I'd say, who's next and in being born, and she knew that they would be coming soon, right? That they would pick her as a mom and but in thinking about that, to then say that ultimately, as I was praying to become a mom, obviously my son was also in the line making his way to me, if we were to use that analogy, right? But there was a point or a period. Stupid. don't drive like that, guys. Do not drive like that, because you will cause accidents. That's my road rage. That's all of my road rage. Yeah, but anyways, right, with that logic in mind, I think my healing journey had to happen. Okay, let me call this guy. Yeah, so I actually saw one of my colleagues in traffic, and I'm realizing that the usual meeting we've been having this week won't be happening because there's a bank-wide call. But it's okay. We'll be on time, and I get to still read my arrows. So yeah. So my healing journey and how motherhood brought me to healing and what it healed started in the waiting. Started way before I became a mom, right? So if you know me, I've always wanted to be a mom, and I think if you were to sit down with me soon after getting married and ask me if you want to have a baby, I would have said yes. But in wisdom and knowing what we were living through and how we were feeling, the first few years of our marriage were really dedicated to us navigating our grief. And yesterday's video kind of explained that period. So in the waiting, there was a time I was doing laundry. I don't know if it was a Sunday. I was doing laundry, and there I was putting up the clothes on the washing line, and then I just started crying. Like, I literally cried and asked God, Kante, when am I going to have a baby? Like, when are you going to give me this child? And this was after we had decided that we'd be having a baby, and obviously now we're trying to have one, right? And obviously it's just one of those moments where now it hasn't happened as soon as you thought it would, right? And your girl is there, snot crying, like proper crying by the washing line. Like, if you were to peep and be a fly on the wall, or my neighbor watching outside looking in, you'd be like, hey, this girl's going through it, okay? Because yeah, I really was. So I think that period, or that moment, was a turning point for me, because I remember even my prayer to God that day, it wasn't a thing of, I want to have this baby. It was a thing of, when am I going to have this baby? And instead of getting an answer, and I really get the, I'd say, obvious, okay, you're going to have a baby in December or whatever, I'll be honest. But I got this, I'd say, confrontation of how me having a baby is going to become an idol in my life, or has been an idol in my life, because of how my story played out. So my mom had me when she was quite young, and I was raised by my grandparents. And what I had always wanted to make sure I do for myself when I finally have kids was to make sure that I have my children after getting married, right? And no judgment, don't quote me or misquote me. In terms of how I was raised, I was loved, more than loved, because I was the only grandchild, right? But in thinking about it, I think in thinking from the place of breaking generational curses and stepping into generational blessing of just marriage, and I think I'll talk about this in another clip, right? But for context on my mom's family, no one is married, right? So all of us grandkids are born to single moms, and that was our reality. So then I'm crying. The context was important. Crying, bawling my eyes out, right? And the realization and the healing point for me was that, Gorata, if you have this baby, it is going to become an idol. It's going to become an idol in your life. And I feel I talked about it in the early days when I came back to vlogging soon after during Bitsitsi, right? To talk about my idolatry, to say this would have been an idol, right? So I think coming to that realization to say, hey, my girl, you having this baby is going to be bigger than, it's going to kind of take over and override your relationship with God, and that's not okay, right? And I think coming to then deciding that even if I don't have this baby, you know, and I remember vocalizing it at therapy. I was like, even if I don't have this baby, I'll be fine, right? And I think my therapist was even concerned, my girl, you really want to have the baby? But I'm like, no. I want us to heal, because we were in our healing journey, and I was like, I want us to heal, and even if I don't have this baby, I'll be okay. And this is after getting to that place of realization to say, whether or not you get it or you don't get it, ultimately the question would then be, who is sitting in the heart, in the seat of your heart? who is Lord over your life, right? And it's very easy, I think, to idolize things, right? You idolize family, idolize marriage. And I think even with marriage, there was a point where I had to really heal in terms of you're getting into this marriage thing, obviously for a bigger purpose in the spiritual dynamic, but then arriving at the bigger purpose of why God is putting me in this marriage specifically, right? So I think for me, motherhood came and I'd say broke down idolatry in a very big way, in as much as I think overall over the past 5 years, a lot has been breaking down music as identity, because I was caught up in that for a while, and the idolatry of I want to become a mother. You know, and I will be honest that the conversations that me and my husband were having were very, I'd say, inspired by the Holy Spirit, truly, because I would have gone crazy over the 2 years if the Holy Spirit didn't intervene and given me peace of mind in terms of why we had to wait, right? So once that broke off, I think even now when we are trying and we didn't get the positive two lines, and we didn't get the 2 lines, I was okay-ish, you know. There was a bit of disappointment, but the disappointment was different, right? And then ultimately when it happened, I can tell you this, that I didn't even cry. I was excited, but I think the way my mind was now arriving to make conclusions was worst case thinking, to say, oh my God, I'm pregnant, but am I gonna make it to the 9 months? I think just that fear crept in, but then I had to really suppress the fear, because it was happening. And I think more so when we found out, the emotion was probably shock more than anything. The emotion was really shock more than anything, but also excitement. I was like, yes, finally, it's my turn, Mafazi. But yeah, I think the excitement built over the 9 months, even as we were telling our family, even as we were getting the baby stuff, and the fear, that thought, because I think outside of just fear of what the worst thing that could happen, it's just the reality, I think, to say that pregnancy in of itself is a miracle, and so much can happen over that period, right? So I think it's just, in all honesty, it's a I'd say a normal fear to have, but it's even over time, like even as the baby was growing, the baby was kicking, we were going for scans and getting ready to give birth. At every point, I'll be honest, there's fear, oh my God, what's going to happen? I feel like that's why pregnancy is just it's a God thing. Like, you can't ever do anything to make it go the way you think you want it to go, because only God can be the one to intervene. I think that's the key thought. And similarly even with marriage, it's such a God thing that only God is the one who can be the glue that holds everything together and that makes everything work out. But otherwise, I hope you guys enjoyed this video. I'm enjoying these prompts, although they're putting me in a corner, and I think I'm learning to communicate better on my socials. And I think if you're only meeting me for the first time, I'm at a place where I'm learning to tell a story but not overshare, right? Because ultimately, something I'd said is, we are building a community, but we don't know each other like that. We're getting to know each other, right? And only over time, I think you get to put the pieces together and say, this is who Gorata is. Look at the sun. Bonjour, baby. I think this is where we need to end all our vlogs, because look at the sun. Look at the sun. Bonjour. I'll see you guys tomorrow. I'm not even going to finish the thought I was thinking.